Hare Krishna. So welcome to ISKCON of New Jersey. Today we're going to talk about a very important topic. It's the Bhadra Purnima. It's a nice opportunity coming up. Bhadra Purnima, and the topic really is about sharing, importance of sharing. We've been given this incredible fortune, the wisdom of Srimad Bhagavatam, and this very auspicious day coming up in just a couple of days that we actually observe in ISKCON by distributing Srimad Bhagavatam. So, who knows the opening verse of Srimad Bhagavatam? Yes. Who knows the opening lines of Srimad Bhagavatam? The first line. Okay, only one. Okay, well, you can just follow along. This is the opening line of Srimad Bhagavatam. Repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we'll be reading from Bhagavad Gita, but before that, I want to just mention this point about Bhadra Purnima. So there is great benefit in bringing Srimad Bhagavatam into your home, especially in the book form. Just bring a set of books, because this book set is considered the personal, direct incarnation of Lord Krishna himself. It's like a deity. Except you don't have, like when you bring a deity of Radha Krishna, you have to make so many offerings. But this is a deity of Radha Krishna, you don't have to make offerings, you just have to read. And if you already have a set, you can still purchase an additional one and give it to a friend who you think will welcome it in their home or who might appreciate having Srimad Bhagavatam. And then both of you and your friend will benefit eternally. So in this drive in the next couple of days, between now and next week, we want to distribute as many Srimad Bhagavatam sets as possible. And so please contact Sadashiv Prabhu, who lives right here in the temple. Anybody not know Sadashiv Prabhu? I think shy to raise a hand. If you don't know him, he looks like this. Very ecstatic devotee, always distributing the books of Srila Prabhupada. So you can catch him. He's going to be here a little bit later today. So please see if you can get him. He has them. He has the keys to the spiritual world and the book room also. So please get from him. All right. So today's verse in Bhagavad Gita is towards the end of Bhagavad Gita. This is verse number 68 and 69. So this is even after that Sarva Dharman Parityajya verse, which is considered the conclusive verse, but this is after the conclusion. So pay special attention. Right? Please repeat after me. Yaidam paramam guhyam Madbhakte Shabhidhasyati Bhaktim Mayi Param Kritva Mame Vaishyatya Shamshayaha Nacha Tasman Manushyeshu Kaschin Me Priyakrittama Bhavita Na Chame Tasma Anya Priyataro Bhavi. So this is entitled How to Become Dear to Lord Krishna. Please listen very carefully. Krishna is not mentioning any words here. He's saying it to the point. He's talking about this whole Gita that he spoke up to this point, which is the end. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. Guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. That's the first verse. The next one. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he. Nor will there ever be one more dear. There will never be one more dear. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So let's go back a little bit. Why do we seek spirituality? There comes a time in our lives when we really reflect and question. How did I get here? What am I doing with my life, with my time? Am I really happy? Is this, quote unquote, success? We want something a little bit more than just this, eat, sleep, entertainment, work, that whole cycle, right? Eat, work, entertainment, sleep, repeat until we die. But there's a deep thirst we all feel in the heart. It's undeniable. A spiritual need that everybody has, and most people feel. A need for meaning, a need for purpose in life. We have an inkling, we have an urge in our heart that there is a higher power, a God, our ultimate source, and we feel a longing to connect to that source. Now that source, God, who is the most attractive, absolute truth. He has a name. It means all attractive. That name is Krishna. He is attractive. He attracts. Akrishta. Akrishta iti Krishna. He comes again, right? Sambhavami yuge. Again and again to give this timeless message in the form of Bhagavad Gita. So Srila Prabhupada founded this movement to share this message and the process of Krishna consciousness all over the world. Now the process itself is very simple, you can see. We chant together in a collective group singing, it's called Kirtan. And individually we also chant, like Prabhupada is showing here in meditation, called Japa. Chant what? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And then we engage in worship of the deity here in the temple. You can also engage in some deity worship at home. So here Prabhupada is showing us, by his example. Then we study the spiritual text. Here Prabhupada is going through. So we should read Bhagavatam. We should read Bhagavad Gita. We should read, but we should also have healthy discussions and try to apply. How do you apply this in your life? And what are some of the challenges that Gita helped you solve? So, we read, we study, And then we offer nice items, like this picture here, Sattu food that we offer to Krishna that's fresh and tastes good. And we take the remnants as prasadam. That's also Prabhupada showing us sitting with the devotees. And so we honor prasadam. We only eat prasadam. While living a clean, healthy, honest life and imbibe the principles of the simple living and high thinking. Following this process called consciousness, we actually get great satisfaction. And we start feeling happy even from the very beginning. Like within the first few days, or even the first time we come across it, you will feel something very special. That is real. That is the soul finally breathing. Finally, you found what you're looking for. And as we mature in our spiritual practice, in our advancement, our development, we get access to more and more realizations, more and more reflections, more and more perspectives, and ecstatic experiences. That's also a fact. It is a time-tested process, this Krishna consciousness. Now, today's topic is about sharing. If we have found some joy, some fulfillment, some value in this process, we have to share it. We have to live it and we have to give it. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, all of you become guru. Krishna in the Gita says it. No one is more dear to me, right? And no one is usually more dear than one who shares his knowledge. Prabhupada said it, distribute books. That's the point. Preach it, live it. We cannot afford to not be thinking about giving this to others every single day. You see, this Krishna consciousness, it's not just about preserving our Indian culture or adding some variety and color to our social lives. No, it is about saving our soul. It's a very fundamental, constitutional nature of our core being. This is what Krishna consciousness is about. It is both dead serious and delightfully joyous, both. And we want both. We want to take it seriously and we want to experience the joy of it. But it can't be fake. We don't like the fakeness. And how much can we pretend? We want to follow it. And the philosophy is so nice. It is so deep that it can satisfy any level of intellectual curiosity and sophistication. No matter what kind of degrees you have, you will find an amazing depth in this philosophy. And yet, it is so straightforward that even a little child at any level can understand and embrace this process immediately. When we share our distress, so we said we share our distress with somebody. What happens to distress? It goes down. And when we share our happiness, it goes up. So sharing is a win-win, right? So when we share this Krishna consciousness with others, our own Krishna consciousness and our own happiness increases thousands of times over. Anyone who has done even a bit of this sort of outreach, explaining with somebody, can attest it's incomparable, the bliss that comes from it, right? The feeling of sense of joy that we cannot forget. We gave a book to somebody or we spoke something nice that really clicked and they got them excited. You won't stop smiling. You'll smile more than them. Because it's like lighting another candle. Somebody lit our candle and we can use the same candle to light others. Another key advantage in sharing is that we become stronger. We become stronger in our own understanding of the science of Krishna. So like, for example, we try to explain it to somebody, right, who's from a different perspective. And when we try to wrestle, how can I explain to a fifth grader? Try to put it in their words. It strengthens our understanding. And especially when somebody asks us questions from a different perspective. Oh, I never thought of that. And if we don't know the answer, that's fine. We can go look it up, or we can ask our devotees. But this way, it grows vastly. So it gets, our knowledge gets really strong. We're talking about sharing, right? But how can we share something that we don't have a good grasp of it, or some basic understanding? That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs us to study deeply Siddhanta. He says, don't be lazy. Sometimes we think, I like to do seva, service. No, service we have to do. But Mahaprabhu said, you can't be lazy about studying this. It's very, very important. Study is just as even more important, actually. He says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's a very important verse. We must know this one. You can sing along if you like. Siddhanta boliya chitte nakaro alasha iha hoite Krishna lage shudreda manasha. A sincere student should not neglect the discussion of such conclusions. Siddhanta boliya chitte na karo alash. Alash means what? Laziness. What's the Gujarati word for that? Alas. Alas, the same word. Don't be lazy. This Krishna conscious philosophy is incredible because it deeply satisfies the self without being opposed to what we find in modern science. It's completely compatible. This philosophy is both sound and complete in every way. And it teaches us how to live a holistic, uplifting, happy life. But we can't afford to be lazy or negligent. Na karo alash. Remember, the goal is to become what? Dear to Krishna. We want to become dear to Krishna. And we learned in today's verse that no one is more dear to Krishna than whom? Than someone who shares this with other devotees. He said other devotees. That's also an interesting point, Krishna says. He didn't say just share with everybody. He didn't say share with inimical people or envious people. No. In fact, he said avoid those. Share with people who are some inclination, at least some kind of innocence or some likelihood. You don't want to share with someone who's openly atheistic, who you know is going to challenge you or really be antithetic about it. We share it to devotees or very close potential devotees, right? How can you share it if you don't know it ourselves? We can't be lazy. So how do you make time to read? These books are available here in our bookstore and also shelf outside. And you can leave a small donation, just take a book from the shelf if you don't have any books. They're also available online for free. If you go to vedabase.com, all these books are available online for free. Just read them online, download them. They're available PDFs as well. You just make it very simple, vedabase.com. But it's nice to have the physical book. You can pick up some of these books that are on the shelf. There really is no excuse. These can be read on mobile devices, on the computer. You can find audio versions of it online. You can just hear it if you're like driving or something. Lots of lectures from Srila Prabhupada. They're on MP3s and YouTube. We're not limited by anything other than our own laziness, or opposite is motivation or enthusiasm. Right? If you're lazy, then you have to be active. But how can you be active? You need enthusiasm, you need motivation. And what motivates us more than anything else? What motivates a musician to keep practicing all day? Love. His love for music. The root of spiritual enthusiasm is love. Prabhupada says this. This is a lecture from Prabhupada in London, 1973. He says, a musician, because one has got a good attachment for music, he tries to perform it very perfectly. So love is the basis. Similarly, when you serve Krishna, if you have no love for Krishna, you can serve him very nicely. And Krishna also does not accept your service if it's not done in great love and affection. So all we need is a little bit of love. It's not hard to find a little bit of love. Maybe complete love of God very far goal, but a little bit of love we can find. And if you can find the spark, you'll find both the time and the energy and even the excitement to go along with it. We were talking about this, what is a successful life? How many of us here can claim to be Indian? Indian, quite a few, most of us. Or of Indian descent, like Indian heritage, most of us. Like I was not born in India myself, but if we claim to be Bharatiya, either born in secular land of India or Bharat, or descending from that lineage, we have to make our life successful. Sarthak. What does Mahaprabhu say? Can sing along? Bharata bhumite hoila manushya janma jara janma sarthak kari karo paropakara. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharat Varsh, should make his life successful, sarthak, and work for the benefit of all other people. Success, sure, becoming CEOs of large companies like Google or Microsoft or IBM, or becoming prime minister of the very same country that colonized us, or becoming an astronaut. These are all marks of success for Indian people, right? We've accomplished some of these things. But real success, sarthak, is doing what? Upakar. The highest welfare for others. What is this highest welfare? Sharing this true wealth of our Vedic heritage, this timeless wisdom, the deep spirituality combined with practical application, not just philosophy. When Prabhupada came to England, he told the reporter, I did not come to take anything from you. I came to give the true jewels that you Britishers forgot to take when you came to India, this spiritual wisdom. We want to be givers, giving others the path to happiness in this life and a blissful eternal existence in the next life. What could be higher than that? The perfect example of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada born in 1896. He was born in a house of pure devotees in Calcutta. And he met his own guru in 1922. And then he received an order in the very first meeting. Go and share this message. You're a young man, educated. Go and share this message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of the Bhagavad Gita, the English-speaking world. It is the highest urgency. It's even more urgent than getting independence from the Britishers. This is 1922, when we were thick in the middle of, foreign rule. So his entire life, he prepared for this right moment when he was ready to launch this dynamic message into the world. He struggled so hard. You can see this picture, right? He is trying to get his Bhagavatam printed in Delhi. He had practically no income flowing. After he got his Bhagavatam printed, age of 69, he got sponsored a free ticket on a cargo ship. He was very comfortable in Vrindavan. He could have just stayed there in bliss, chanting Hare Krishna. He was very comfortable, taking darshan day, bowing down, having Mahaprasadam. He could have just stayed there. But this idea of Janma Sarthaka Kari Kara Paro Upakar. This is the order from his guru. This is the order from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is the order from Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. He broke out from his comfort zone. And reaching America was not easy. Remember, he had practically no money. He couldn't take a flight, like a business class ticket. No. He approached this lady here. What's her name? Sumati Morarji. She is the owner of a large steamship company, cargo ship company, India Steamship. And she finally gave him, an appointment, and he told her, I need this ticket. And she said, Swamiji, please don't go. You are very old, and America is very cold. She's being a poet. Like this. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, I may be old, and America may be cold, but I have my guru's order, and I am Bold. Shri Prabhupada ki. And of course, the rest is an amazing history. How he built this dynamic international organization in just a few years. 10, 11 years, he built this explosion of followers and temples. And today ISKCON has hundreds of temples, like 700, 800 temples all over the world, and millions of followers. Just from that. What's this sound? Oh, okay. So at some level, we all have to become teachers, all of us, following the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. Teachers, preachers, sharers, gurus. It is not optional. We owe it to Krishna. We owe it to Srila Prabhupada. How can we pay them back? Can we pay them back? We can only pay it forward. We can only pay it forward by giving at least one other person. What does Mahaprabhu say? Jai dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesha amar agyai guru haya tara e desha. Jai dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesha. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Shri Krishna as they are given in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In this, to become a spiritual master, try to liberate everyone in this land. We don't need to first become a sannyasi or to leave our jobs and leave our homes. No. Even during the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there was probably a misconception that only sannyasis can be gurus. He clearly spelled it out over here. It's Mahaprabhu's famous verse. Kiba vipra kiba nyasi Shudra ke naya Jai Krishna Tattva Veta Se Guru Hoya. Whether one is a Brahmana or a sannyasi or a Shudra, regardless of what he is, he can become spiritual master if he knows the science of Krishna. That's all. It's not a big deal. Sometimes we may doubt, oh, how can I preach? I'm not the level of Prabhupada. Or we may think, oh, I'm just a beginner. I mean, I like this process, but I don't know many details. I don't know everything. But that does not matter. It was very urgent sharing this. Mahaprabhu said, Jare dakho, tare kaho, Krishna upadesh. We don't need to be very big to share. But sharing, we become big. I'll share my personal story. This is a picture of my high school. Back in 1991, I had just discovered Krishna consciousness. And I'd been chanting japa for about 6 months. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I'll sit on these steps, there's some steps in the front during recess time. And I'll keep my beads in my blazer pocket. We have those high schools where you have to wear blazer. You know how the British type uniforms, right? Better tie, right? And I was trying very hard to focus and chant. And one of my classmates noticed this. And yeah, hey, what you got in your pocket? Why are you putting your fingers in your pocket all day? You know, your blazer. So at first I was a little self-conscious, right? And after about a minute or two, I opened up and said, look, hey, I discovered this really cool philosophy, man. And how nice this process of chanting Hare Krishna. I was so excited. And he could sense my excitement. Like he could see in my eyes and like, why are you so happy? And immediately he said, awesome, let me also try it. I thought he'd be like, oh, he's such a weirdo. No, he said, let me also try it. And so we started chanting together. He would sit next to me at recess every day and chant together. After a week, I got him his own set of beads. I gave it to him. He would bring it in his own pocket. It was really nice. And we used to learn verses together. He started to read the Gita. And we became pretty close friends. Now, a couple of years later, after that, I came to America. And I was in college in Philadelphia. This is around 93 or 94. And one evening, I just come back from school and I got a letter in the mail. This letter was from the father of my friend. The letter, I opened it. And he said, Hare Krishna, I'm writing to share some very sad and shocking news. My son was killed recently in a carjacking incident. The thief shot him in the chest and took his van. His other friends who were also in the car, they were beaten, but they let go. Now, in the past couple of years, he had been chanting Hare Krishna every day. And he shouted Hare Krishna as his last words. So he writes, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving him Krishna. Thank you. His father is a devout Jain, they weren't even Hindus, but he was so appreciative. I cried that whole night and prayed for my friend. It was then that I realized the importance of preaching, of sharing, and giving this knowledge to others. I could have that first time said, no, it's my family thing, it's a tradition, it's not for you, you're Jain. I could have said that. There would be end of that. So easily. But somehow I felt, no, this is so nice. It is meant to be shared. We should never let anyone tell us we are too young or too much at a beginner level to preach. Just share what you've learned. And if you cannot answer the question, for example, that they ask, then just direct them to more senior devotees who can. You have a whole worldwide movement backing you up. You should be confident. You're not alone. Prabhupada has built this all for us. The house that everyone can live in. You just have to take this initiative. Prabhupada was very insistent for his vision. This is his vision. Let me see if it works. This on? Okay. Let me see. It's nice to hear Prabhupada. We'll have to see if technology is going to help us. Let me read it.
Because people are in darkness. We require many millions of gurus to enlighten them. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned it. He said that every one of you become guru. Amar Adnai Guru Iya Karo Ides. You have got to go to foreign countries. Whenever you are, you teach. It doesn't matter. Ages. He says ages. If you have got power, you can go other country. But it doesn't require. Whichever village, whichever country or town, you become a guru. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Amar Agni Guru Eya Karo Ei this country, this place. So, qualification, how can I become guru? There is no need of qualification. Still I can become guru? Yes. How? Jayata Kutari Kaho Krishna. Whomever you meet, you simply instruct what Krishna is saying. That's all. You become guru.
You see the urgency in his voice, you can feel it. He said, there's no need of qualification. Don't let that imagine, right? So many lost opportunities just because we're just too self-conscious. Just take the role. Somebody gave it to you. You share it with others. This is Prabhupada's vision, Look at another place. He really downplayed the whole thing that, I can't be a leader, I can't be a guru, I can't be a teacher. No. Because you haven't got to manufacture anything. You don't have to be creative. You're not making anything new. Simply by strictly following the orders of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, anyone can become the spiritual master. Spiritual master means one who is strictly following the orders of his superior. He is spiritual master. Listen to this. Spiritual master does not mean that he has got 4 hands, or 8 legs, or 3 heads. That would be so weird. Some people think, you have to be so high before you can know. Start teaching right away. No, one who is strictly following the order of his predecessor, he is spiritual master. ISKCON started what year? 1966. In 1969, Prabhupada wrote this letter, just 3 years later. He said another examination will be held, maybe in a couple of years, in 1971, on 4 books. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Teaching of Lord Chaitanya, and Nectar of Devotion. One who will pass this examination will be awarded the title of Bhaktivedanta. I want that all my spiritual sons and daughters, you didn't leave the girls out, will inherit this title of Bhaktivedanta, so that the family transcendental diploma will continue through the generations. Those possessing title of Bhakti Vedanta, he was envisioning just within 2 years, will be allowed to initiate disciples. Maybe by 1975, all my disciples are now to initiate. Increased number of generations. He was very liberal. Why? Because the sense of urgency is too high. He had a clear vision, even in the earlier days of ISKCON, that he will make sure his disciples are very expert in understanding the scriptures. Na karo alash. Don't be lazy. And he would see to it that they're following strictly, and he expected them to continue very shortly. How to be dear to Lord Krishna? Krishna says, one who explains the supreme secret to devotees, devotional is guaranteed. And there's nobody more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be anyone more dear. The different types of gurus, there's Chaitya Guru, there is Vartma Pradarshaka Guru, Shiksha Guru, Diksha, all kinds. We can be Chaitya. Chaitya Guru is who? Paramatma, Lord Krishna in the heart. But we can be other types of gurus. Vartma Pradaksha. Vartma Pradaksha, all it means, the Hare Krishna is down this road. That's it. That's the guru. Even the guy may be smoking, but he says, Hare Krishna, it's down this road. He showed you the road. Vartma Pradaksha, he showed you the road. That's all. Imagine someone who is practicing and sharing. That is Shiksha Guru, someone who is living and giving instruction. And then Diksha Guru also. But this is whomever you meet. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Pradesh. Does this please Krishna? Of course. Not only does it please Krishna, but nothing pleases him more. Like if you have a ranking of devotees, okay, this devotee is dear to me, or this one is more dear, this one is more dear. The top most dear is one who shares this with others. Because Krishna guarantees in the future, that rank will never change. In the future, there will never be one more dear. That's how solid. He spends 2 verses making this point toward the end of the Gita. Don't be lazy. Na karo alash. It's not that hard. And there's no excuse. You can't say, I don't have a copy. Take out your phone, you can find it. Maybe 30 years ago, you can make that excuse. Not today. So one of the most powerful ways to share Krishna consciousness is distributing books. And this month in particular, we want to give Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada says, so I'm always emphasizing book distribution. It is the better kirtan. It is better than chanting. Of course, chanting should not stop, but book distribution is the best kirtan. And Srimad Bhagavatam also says, it says in this 12th canto, verse 13:13, he says, if on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, which is this month coming up, this full moon day coming up, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on the golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme mental destination. So if you have it, that's okay to get a copy. Is Sadashi Prabhu here? There he is, back there. Everyone please look at Sadashi Prabhu. Hari Bol. But if you don't want to turn your neck, because sometimes your neck is stiff, so you can look here. That's Sadashi Prabhu. So you can look there or here. Both places good. Get a copy of Bhagavatam, maybe 2. Give a gift. That's what he says in the Bhagavatam. If you give the gift, then you achieve the transcendental destination. Prabhupada says the best kirtan too. So there's great benefit in this. So before we end, let us try our very best to chant this Maha Mantra. If you've not chanted before, this will be an experience of a lifetime. And if you have chanted before, try to make this the experience of a lifetime. Okay? So very focused. Lots of love in the heart. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let us not waste this chance, this opportunity, the human form of life. Let's do what we can to make progress every day. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Don't be lazy. You can say whatever language you like, Bengali, in English, Gujarati. Don't be lazy. Naka alash. Why? Because it makes you Shuddhada Manash, makes your mind very firm in Krishna consciousness. Nobody can shake you then. Right? Then you come into service, be very solid. All right. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Any comments or last, like a quick comment or question? Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We hear this importance of sharing. The only issue that I come up with is people are in so much fast-paced life and like so engrossed in what they're doing, it's very hard to stop them.
Yes.
So how do we, like, make the initial?
Yeah. People are very fast-paced life. It's hard to stop them. Maybe you should the people who have stopped. That's one thing. I mean, when Krishna says, share this with the devotees, he means those who will very likely be amenable to taking Krishna consciousness. So it doesn't mean the fast people are not. Many of them are very smart and they'll take it right away. So what can you do? Prabhupada gave an example. To go over the speed limit, that's illegal. But if you're going like 100 miles an hour and the speed limit is say 70, that's illegal. But the cop has to give you a ticket, so he has to go 110 miles an hour. Sometimes you can speed up yourself. In the sense, speak their language of fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, suppose you are in the field of pharmacy. Pharmacy people, maybe they're not quite as fast as some of these Wall Street people, but they're also pretty fast, right? Because they're trying to live a fast life. So you can catch those people who can understand your language. That's how it is. You don't need to try to catch up to the super fast lawyers, for example. Like, you preach to lawyers. You preach to the pharmacists, Or if you're a lawyer, then you preach to lawyers. Because you have these interests and concerns, so you can talk their language. You can address them. So yes, it's a fast-paced life, and it's only getting faster. It's not getting better. People are losing their sense of attention span. Nowadays, TikTok is saying, oh, anything video longer than 30 seconds means it's too boring. 30 seconds, that's our attention span now. It's ridiculous. This is a fast life. So it's good we slow down. We can show them, hey, look at my face. See how nice it is. Like, look at your face. No, you don't like that. But they will just see your face. And they'll just wonder, how is you so happy? You don't need to say those words. Preaching 90% of the time is not saying anything. It's just being happy. And they'll be like, no, I need to ask this person what's going on. Like, even though he's a family in America, he's raising children, and he's working in the pharmacy and so on, and yet he's smiling, and he's always happy, and there's no wrinkles. What's going on? This is preaching. This is preaching. So yeah, that is one way of preaching. They'll come to you. When you're picking the fruit, right? You don't have to pick up the top apples. You pick the low-hanging fruit. So similarly, you don't have to go after the fastest people. It's fine. Maybe the faster devotee will catch up to them. That's fine. But we've got the ones who are at our pace. Low-hanging fruit. Okay, good question. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Bol.